In this investigative report, we examine 30 obscured facets of Camilla's personal history and public life, revelations that cast new light on her enduring influence and controversial trajectory. Through meticulous re-examination of documented events and first-hand accounts, we explore the developmental roots, personal ambitions, and interpersonal conflicts that have defined her journey. From an early age, Camilla exhibited a fascination with power and high social status. This allure was evident in her attraction to influential, affluent men, a characteristic that not only guided her romantic pursuits but also foreshadowed her later entanglements with royalty. It is noted that at the tender age of 16, she displayed a precocious ability to charm and flirt effortlessly. By the time she first encountered Prince Charles at the age of 24, despite him being merely 16 months younger, a palpable connection had been forged. The mutual fascination that arose during this initial meeting was a precursor to an affair that would later shape the contours of British public life. The foundations of her persona were further molded by her familial heritage, most notably through her enduring admiration for her great-grandmother, Alice Kiel. Renowned as a prominent mistress of King Edward III, Kiel's influence instilled in Camilla an early appreciation for the nuances of royal intrigue. This admiration was so profound that it guided many of her personal decisions, shaping her desire to emulate the legacy of a storied past. Even as a child, Camilla's ambitions reached well beyond the confines of an ordinary upbringing. At Queensgate boarding school, near Kensington Palace, she was known for asserting her royal lineage, confidently proclaiming her familial ties by declaring that her great-grandmother had been a lover of a king. Such proclamations, though extraordinary for a young girl, hinted at a self-assurance that would later evolve into a powerful, if controversial, presence in the corridors of British royalty. Her school days also revealed a rebellious, flirtatious side that set her apart from her peers. Far from conforming to conventional expectations, she effortlessly attracted the attention of boys by engaging them in conversations about their interests, thereby cultivating an image of a confident tomboy. This early charm and ease in social interactions laid the groundwork for her future exploits. In parallel with her social acumen, an early professional twist added to her financial independence. Following brief stints in positions such as a receptionist in Geneva and Paris, a substantial inheritance of $1.5 million was bequeathed to her from a distant relative, a windfall that significantly bolstered her financial standing. As she advanced into adulthood, Camilla's pursuits took on a more calculated dimension. She harbored an unwavering ambition to secure a marriage of royal stature, a desire that ultimately materialized into a strategy to wed a king. It is recorded that during her time in London, even as her contemporaries swiftly sealed their unions, she remained steadfast in her aspiration to secure a partner of unparalleled nobility. This determination ultimately led her to divorce her first husband after 22 years, with her subsequent actions firmly aimed at cultivating an affair with Prince Charles that would change the course of her life. The clandestine liaison with Prince Charles stands out as one of the most notorious episodes in recent royal history. Amidst this union, the complexities of balancing public duties and personal indulgences became evident. Camilla managed to sustain an affair characterized by secret exchanges, including the use of affectionate code names such as Gladys and Fred. The scandal escalated further when it emerged that even as she was married to Andrew Parker B.S., a discreet yet persistent relationship with the prince continued, thereby laying bare a saga of dual betrayals that unsettled both the royal household and the wider public. Confrontations were inevitable. When Diana, the Princess of Wales, finally voiced her discontent over this unremitting affair, Camilla responded with an unyielding defense, a stance that earned her the moniker of a Rottweiler from Diana herself. Such public disputes further underscored the complex interplay of personal ambition and moral ambiguity that would come to define her legacy. The impact of these intertwined relationships resonated across the palace, as multiple households were left grappling with the fallout of adulterous alliances. Behind the scenes, there were strategic maneuvers designed to reshape public opinion. In a top-secret operation known as Operation PB, senior figures including Mark Holland and Peter Mandel were involved in a covert meeting with both Camilla and Charles. The objective was to systematically recalibrate her public image and prepare the populace to accept her as a successor to the late Princess Diana, a scheme that underscores the calculated nature of royal image management. No investigative report on Camilla would be complete without addressing the speculations surrounding the tragic demise of Princess Diana. In the aftermath of the fatal 1997 car accident, questions abounded regarding the possible indirect involvement of Camilla in altering public sentiment, particularly as evidence emerged of her wearing a costly necklace, once a cherished favorite of Diana. Although no concrete proof links her actions to the tragedy, the incident contributed to a prevailing narrative that her presence disrupted the established order and precipitated emotional trauma among allies of the late princess. The internal dynamics of the royal family also reveal deep-seated discord. A long-standing promise made by the Queen to ensure that Camilla would never ascend to queenship was ultimately broken. Despite expressing reservations about Camilla's role in Prince Charles's life, the prince made clear his intention to proceed with their engagement, regardless of maternal disapproval. This decision not only strained familial bonds but also left the Queen with a profound sense of betrayal, as Camilla's influence over him grew at the expense of long-held royal traditions and values. The fabric of deception extended further into private agreements. A conditional pact had been made, stipulating that upon Charles's marriage to Camilla, there would be no intention for her to assume the title of Princess of Wales or Queen. However, this promise was later disregarded, highlighting a pattern of manipulation and deceit that has long underpinned her ascent within royal circles. Compounding these issues was a personal habit that spanned nearly 3 decades, a discreet yet persistent reliance on cigarettes, which Charles even went to the lengths of having his staff remove evidence to protect the public image during intimate moments. On April 9, 2005, the complexities of Camilla's life reached a symbolic milestone, her wedding day with Prince Charles. Though one might expect jubilation on such an occasion, reports indicate that Camilla was reluctant and physically unwell due to a severe case of sinusitis. It was not until her sister, Annabelle, intervened by threatening to claim her ceremonial dress that she finally embraced the day, an incident that underscored the personal sacrifices made in pursuit of her high ambitions. Yet, the narrative of infidelity did not end with her own transgressions. Observations reveal that her then-husband, Andrew Parker B.S., was likewise entangled in extramarital relationships. This mutual breach of trust paints a picture of a partnership where fidelity was compromised on both sides, suggesting that the seeds of betrayal may have been sown from the very beginning of their union. Adding another layer of familial tension was a poignant confrontation instigated by Camilla's father. He openly admonished Prince Charles for what he perceived as the ruin of his daughter's life, a reprimand that reportedly brought Charles to tears and further exacerbated the existing rift between the royal family and the influential mistress. Not long afterward, Camilla's arranged marriage to Andrew Parker B.S. was expedited by her father's orchestrated intervention, a scheme that saw the public announcement of an engagement designed to fast-track their union. An unexpected twist in this intricate web came from an unlikely source, Lucia Santa Cruz, an ex-lover of Charles from his university years. Despite the unconventional nature of this connection, Lucia played an instrumental role in reuniting Camilla and Charles, inadvertently setting the stage for what would become one of the most scrutinized relationships in recent royal history. Subtle details further illuminate Camilla's character. For instance, her known preference for Chanel pumps, specifically chosen for their nude tone and the double C logo, symbolizes not only her taste for elegant accessories but also a personal connection that intertwines her identity with that of Prince Charles. Such idiosyncrasies provide a glimpse into her meticulously curated public persona. Long before her widely publicized liaison with Prince Charles, Camilla was already weaving her influence as a mistress. Reports suggest that she had prearranged for such a role even before entering into wedlock with her first husband. It is within these early machinations that one discerns a pattern of calculated decisions designed to secure her position within elite social circles, regardless of the personal cost. From the onset of her relationship with Prince Charles, the depth of their connection was evident. Their mutual interests, which spanned unconventional areas such as a shared enthusiasm for niche forms of comedy and an affinity for country pursuits like hunting and equestrian activities, offered an unorthodox foundation for their bond. Yet, this union faced staunch opposition from those who deemed their compatibility questionable, ultimately contributing to persistent familial and public disapproval. The controversy reached new heights during Charles's wedding to Diana, when Camilla was reported to have been present as a guest under awkward circumstances. Accounts from that day indicate that before Diana embarked on the Isle, there were murmurs of intimate exchanges between Charles and Camilla, including the revelation of an expensive gold bracelet emblazoned with the initials G and F. This incident, laden with symbolic implications, further complicated an already fragile royal narrative. In the realm of personal relationships, Camilla's parenting approach deviated from traditional expectations. Her son, Tom, has frequently described her as a nurturing figure, one who would overlook minor disciplinary issues in favor of treating him to outings at fast food restaurants during moments of family distress. While this portrayal lends her an air of unconventional coolness, it raises important questions about the lasting impact of a fractured family environment. Her early education further underscores a disinterest in the rigid protocols of aristocratic upbringing. During her year at the monodial school in the Swiss Alps, Camilla's visible disinterest in the refined etiquette taught there was documented by candid photos showing a young girl disengaged and bored, a foreshadowing of her eventual preference for pursuits not typically aligned with royal expectations. This divergence from tradition would later resonate in her choice of lifestyle, evident in her penchant for hunting and the country life. One of the most notorious chapters in her story emerged in 1993 when a private phone conversation between her and Prince Charles was illicitly recorded and leaked to the public. The contents, which were deeply personal and explicit in nature, nearly precipitated the collapse of the monarchy, casting long shadows of moral questioning and public outrage. Although time has muted the immediate fallout, the scandal remains an indelible marker of their secretive liaison. Beyond the public scandals, Camilla's personal life is marked by profound losses. The death of her brother Mark, an event marked by an accidental head injury, and the painful demise of her mother, Rosalind, due to osteoporosis, left emotional voids that she carefully guarded from public scrutiny. These losses, while hidden behind a veneer of resilience, have undoubtedly contributed to the fortitude and guarded nature with which she presents herself to the world. Another personal struggle is her long-standing fear of flying, a phobia that persists despite the rigorous travel demands imposed by her high-profile role. This reluctance to take to the skies reflects not only a practical concern for personal safety but also an underlying anxiety about the potential loss of loved ones, a sentiment that resonates deeply with those who have witnessed tragedy. Amidst the many controversies, there remains a less expected facet of her public persona, a willingness to use humor to diffuse tense situations. In various official engagements, Camilla has been known to inject levity into otherwise solemn proceedings, a trait that contrasts sharply with the more severe aspects of her public image. This unexpected sense of humor occasionally manages to soften the perception of an otherwise unyielding character. Finally, at the heart of this investigative report lies an undeniable ambition, a greed that has driven her to relentlessly pursue power and status. Behind her carefully constructed public facade is a desire to not only accumulate wealth but also to claim dominion over the royal palace itself. This ambition, couched in deceit and self-interest, has been a recurring theme throughout her life and serves as a critical element in understanding her broader impact on the institution of royalty. In summary, the 30 secrets presented here, drawn from a blend of personal anecdotes, documented scandals, and public controversies, paint a complex portrait of Camilla. Her life has been a tapestry of calculated ambitions, deep personal losses, and strategic maneuvering, all interwoven with moments of charm, wit, and, at times, scandalous betrayal. This investigative report seeks to sift through the sensationalism and reveal the systematic patterns that underlie her ascent within one of the world's most scrutinized establishments. Each revelation not only underscores the nuances of her character but also illuminates how personal history, family dynamics, and public ambition have converged to create a figure whose influence remains as polarizing as it is enduring. The report affirms that while many of these secrets have contributed to a legacy steeped in controversy, they also offer a critical insight into the mechanisms of power and the relentless pursuit of royal status, a pursuit marked by both calculated strategy and personal vulnerability.